Hello and welcome to another video for SAP Business One. In this video, we're going to show you 10 features you may not know that existed inside of SAP Business One. This is a list of items that we compiled after meeting with our customers, whether that be on-site or through support calls, and just showing them some features and getting the response of, I didn't know that existed, or I wish I knew that was there. So hopefully you can see some new features that you can choose to deploy in your companies. I will say that some of these are going to require a little bit of setup and configuration, whether that be with your current SAP partner, that could be us, or you have another partner, or through the hosting provider where there needs to be some configurations for a deployment of these. So if you find any of these interesting, feel free to reach out to your SAP partner and we'll help get them set up for you. Right, coming in at number one is the web client. The web client is something that can be set up with your hosting provider or SAP partner to get this functional for you. But basically, this is a way to access your data and your information from SAP Business One in a web browser. Here is an example of what that would look like. This is a demo database here, but you have all your major functions as far as your analytics up top. All of your modules are all here. It's a little bit of a different feel, a little more modernized. It's an option to use, especially in some key situations, like maybe on a different device other than a computer at your desk. But we do have some other videos on the advanced functionality of the web client here, so we won't go into in detail. But coming in at number one is our web client. Coming in at number two is pervasive analytics. That can be accessed right up here in the icon bar. And you're going to see a little icon called pervasive analytics. We're going to click that and that's going to launch. And what pervasive analytics does is this is a way to create items for your dashboard. So that could be KPIs, a dashboard, or your bar graphs, line graphs, so on and so forth. But this is a way to design your own, and it's all based off of a query. So if you have a query as a base, you can create a KPI or a dashboard out of it. Just as a quick example here, I'll just give you a short demo of that. But here I have a query already teed up. And let's say I wanted my sales order query and I wanted to look at all the doc totals. So I could say there's my sum of all the doc totals in the whole system for all my sales orders. But let's say I want to dial that down. More parameters you have in here, you could say, but now I just want to see this year, this quarter, this month, this day. And once you create that, give it a description, save this, it'll become part of your widget gallery, and then you can add it to your dashboard and use those. So if you have a need to create these, we can create those based off a query and get you some more items for your dashboard. Coming in at number three is you can also. So that's found on Business Partner Master Data. So we're going to open up a record here. And this one I have a customer named Bob Smith. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and you can see in the right here, you can see a you can also. There are some features in here that could make life a little bit easier and make it a little more efficient if you're interested. And you can get some information relating to this particular business partner as well. So for instance, you could look at related activities, you could create an activity, you could create a sales order. Let's go ahead and take a look at what one of these does. But if I hit create sales order, I can pop this up. It's going to open up a sales order for me. It's going to put in Bob Smith's name. It gets me one step a little bit closer here. Now, coming in at number four is also related to you can also because it's in the same place. So, coming in at number four is Customer 360. So, we're going to go to any business partner here. We're going to open up you can also, and then we're going to click View Customer 360. This is going to give you a breakdown of this particular customer, and it's going to bring it up through pervasive analytics. And it's going to give you some information. So, from a general standpoint, you could see total sales, gross profit, you can go to sales here. You could look at the top five best-selling items. These are provided out of the box by SAP, but you're also able to modify these so that you can have some more detailed information that might be more interesting to you and your company. Coming in at number five is Open Items List. So this is a list that's commonly used for finding open documents in your system. So it's going to be found in the menu in a couple different places there. It all goes to the same place. An open items list here, and this one opens up to sales orders. So I could see in here that these are all my open sales orders are in the system. There's some functionality to this list as well, where I could select one or multiple. I could change them to something like closed, canceled. So if I have some old things that I need to clean up, this would be a great place to start with that. But like I said, it starts with sales orders here because that's what I had on my default there when I opened it up. But you can go through and it'll tell you any open document for any of these items in this list here. Coming in at number 6 is a right click inside of modules. So what this means is if I have a module open, if I look at any blank space up in here, so I'm just going to pick an area in this header and I'm just going to do a right click with my cursor. There's some options in here for some things that are pretty useful. So I could cancel, I could close the document, duplicate. Some other interesting features here. If I needed to do some inventory transfers, I could do a transfer request to have this linked directly to the sales order. I could generate pick lists from here. I could view pick lists from here. Any related activities that pertain to the sales order, relationship maps, so on and so forth. And when I get into some other options or other types of documents like open versus closed, some other things become available too. So, for instance, if I want to know where this went to as far as a delivery or what the next document was that was created, I could say, what was the target document? And I'll pull that up. I could look at the relationship map too from here. Then I could keep looking here and go, okay, what was the next one after that? So then I have my invoice and here's my open invoice. So some options in there to explore and use if you'd like. Coming in at number 7 is formatted searches, or also known as user-defined values. Basically, what this is, it's a formula embedded in a field to automatically populate data. So, example for this, how it can work is example I set up here is this is business partner master data. I have a customer. I have a custom field on here that says this is a VIP customer. And let's say I want that piece of data to show up automatically whenever I enter in a sales order. So I'm going to come over to a sales order and I'm going to start entering in Bob Smith. And what you're going to see here is pay attention to this VIP customer on the sales order as well. I put a formula in there to go find the word yes and populate it based off of what's on customer master data here. So I'm going to bring in Bob Smith. My formula in here automatically populates yes. If that was a no, this would have been no. But that's an example of how you could pass data from one module to another with a query embedded into a field. Coming in at number 8 is single sign-on. So this requires a little bit of a setup with the hosting provider and your business, your SAP partner, because there's some things that need to happen as far as your Windows account and binding it to SAP in order for this to work correctly. So if it's all set up and everything's working as expected here, I'm just going to double click on my SAP Business One application. And what this saves me some time with is see how everything's blanked out automatically defaults to log on with Windows account. Everything's already stored here. I can just click OK. No need to put in a username, no need to put in a password, and we can go ahead and log in automatically just like that. At number 9, we have My Shortcuts. This can be found under Tools, My Shortcuts, and then we can either look at what we currently have configured here, or we can customize. What this does is you could configure these to be your F keys. So for instance, I have business partner master data assigned to F2. There's a little configuration here to tell it what you want and what buttons to press essentially. But let's say I wanted sales order as F3. And you could look at the list here and say, what are these currently allocated to? Now what you can't see is me touching my keyboard here, but I'm just going to click F2 here. And then it brings up business partner master data. If I hit F3, then my sales order pops up. And lastly, coming in at number 10 is Tooltip Preview. So this one needs to be enabled, but it's under Administration, System Initialization, and Tooltip Preview. And there's a checkbox here to go ahead and check that. But what this turns on is a feature for when you hover your mouse over a golden drill down arrow, it's going to give you some more information. Now, if I have a sales order already open, you see this little golden drill down arrow? I'm just going to hover over it, and this is what Tooltip Preview does, is it displays some extra information here. So I can hover over that. It doesn't only work for just the customer here, but I could look down here and go to item number, get some information about that if I was looking for it. I could hover over here under tax code. So take a look at that and hover over some golden drill down arrows, gives you some extra information. Might be some benefit in that to get you a little more information that you might need.